The cold marble floor of the hotel bathroom was still wet from the last guest, and Lily's trembling fingers slipped as she tried to wipe it clean. She kept her breath low, quiet, almost invisible. She always tried to be invisible. It was safer that way, especially at the Crystal Hyena Hotel, a place that looked luxurious on the outside, but had shadows behind every gold-trimmed door. Her reflection in the large mirror showed tired eyes, a smudge of mascara from rushing between tables, and the faint bruise under her collarbone she covered with makeup that morning. She hated seeing it, hated remembering last night, hated how the world seemed too heavy for a 23-year-old who just wanted a simple life, a quiet life, a safe one. Rain tapped softly against the bathroom window, steady and slow, almost trying to comfort her. Seoul nights always felt like this, neon lights glowing against wet streets, cars passing like blurred streaks, city noise muffled by the sound of rainfall. She glanced toward the door, hoping no one would come in. She wanted 2 minutes, just 2 minutes to breathe, but the door slammed open so hard it echoed through the tiled room. Lily froze. Her heart stopped. Her hand tightened around the cleaning cloth. "Still here?" a low voice said. The hotel manager stepped inside. Mr. Han, tall, expensive suit, cold eyes, the kind of man everyone respected on the surface, but avoided when the hallway got too quiet. He locked the door behind him. The click made Lily's stomach tighten. I'm just finishing up," she whispered, stepping back. He walked closer, slow, with the confidence of someone who believed the building belonged to him. And in many ways it did. He treated the staff like property. Lily kept stepping backward, but the counter blocked her. "You know," he said softly, leaning a little too close, "I've noticed you've been avoiding me lately." "I'm just busy, sir." "Busy?" He smirked. "Then let me help you loosen up." Her throat closed. She hated this. She hated how powerless she felt under him. She hated how he always waited until the cameras were facing the other direction, until the halls were empty, until she had nowhere to run. He reached out and gently touched a strand of her hair. Lily flinched. His eyes darkened. "Don't do that. I need to go back to my shift." He trapped her between his arms, palms flat on the counter. Lily's breath grew shallow. Her vision blurred as panic rose inside her chest. "Sir, please, someone might come." "No one comes here this late." His voice dipped. "Just relax." Her body froze, fear crawling across her skin. Her hand shook as she tried to push him away. But then, a shadow crossed the bathroom window. A silhouette, slow, still, watching. Mr. Han didn't notice, but Lily did. Her heart stumbled. Someone was standing outside in the rain, right by the window. The figure didn't move, just stood there, broad-shouldered, tall, wearing a black coat that clung to him in the downpour. His presence was so still, so cold, it didn't feel normal. It felt dangerous, like a silent predator waiting for the right moment. The man's face was hidden, but Lily's trembling breath fogged the mirror, and she saw the faint outline of eyes, sharp, unreadable, focused only on them. She didn't know him, but something about him felt terrifyingly familiar, like she had seen him in the lobby earlier, standing by the revolving doors, scanning the room like he was looking for someone. Mr. Han leaned closer to her neck. "Sir, don't," Lily whispered, her voice breaking. The window behind them slid open slightly, just enough for cold rain to sweep inside. Lily's eyes widened. Mr. Han turned. Too slowly. The figure disappeared from the window. Silence filled the room. Then the bathroom door unlocked from the outside. Not forced, not kicked, just unlocked by someone who clearly didn't care about rules or keys. Mr. Han stiffened. "Who?" The door swung open, and the man from the rain stepped inside. Water dripped from his coat onto the marble floor. His black hair was wet, strands falling over his sharp jawline. His eyes, slightly narrowed, dark, and unreadable, were fixed on only one thing, Lily, and then slowly on the man standing too close to her. The air changed. He didn't need to speak. His presence alone made Mr. Han step back. Lily felt the tension in the room harden like ice. Mr. Han tried to sound confident. "Sir, this area is for staff only." The man didn't blink. He didn't breathe. He didn't move. He simply looked at Lily again, as if checking she was standing, breathing, alive. Then his voice came, low, deep, dangerous. Step away from her. Mr. Hahn scoffed nervously. Who exactly are you? The man took 3 slow steps forward. Each one made the lights above flicker. Each one made Lily's heartbeat hammer in her ears. Last chance, he said quietly. Step away. Mr. Hahn tried to save face by straightening his suit. She's my employee. This is none of your... The man's fist hit the counter beside Mr. Hahn's face, cracking the marble. Lily gasped. Her knees almost gave out. No normal person could do that. Mr. Hahn stumbled backward, pale now. You don't touch her, the stranger said, voice like a threat wrapped in calm. Lily's breath came shaky. She didn't know this man. She didn't know why he intervened. She didn't know why he looked at her like he had seen death and refused to let it come near her. But she couldn't look away from him, and he couldn't look away from her. Rainwater dripped from his coat, pooling slowly on the floor, mixing with the cracks in the marble. Mr. Hahn backed toward the door. Sir, this misunderstanding. I didn't. The man didn't chase him. He just stared, silent, deadly, until Mr. Hahn finally ran out of the bathroom, leaving Lily alone with the stranger, alone with the man who broke marble with his bare hand. Her hands trembled as she pressed herself against the counter. She tried to speak, but her voice wouldn't come. She wasn't sure if she should say thank you or run. The man finally looked at her again. His voice softened, just barely. Are you hurt? Lily shook her head, though tears pooled at the corners of her eyes. He stepped closer. Not too close. Just enough to see her better. His eyes moved to the faint bruise under her collarbone. His jaw tightened. You shouldn't work here, he murmured. I don't have a choice, she whispered. His fingers closed slightly, as if holding back anger he didn't want her to see. For a moment they said nothing. For a moment the rain outside became the only sound between them. Then he unbuttoned his coat and gently draped it over her shoulders. It was warm despite the rain, smelling faintly of smoke and expensive cologne. Lily's breath hitched. Why? Why are you helping me? She whispered. He held her gaze. Lightning flashed outside the window. His answer came soft, but carried the weight of secrets she didn't understand yet. Because someone like him once took everything from me too. Before she could respond, the bathroom lights flickered again. Then footsteps echoed down the hallway. Heavy ones. Multiple. The man stepped in front of her, protective, ready. Lily felt her blood go cold. Who were they? Why did they sound like they were searching for him? Or for her? The door handle began to turn. The door handle twisted slowly, like whoever was outside already knew fear was waiting inside. Lily pressed her back against the counter, breath shaking, fingers gripping the stranger's coat wrapped around her shoulders. The fabric felt heavy, warm, comforting, but none of it eased the chill crawling down her spine. The man stepped in front of her, shoulders widening, posture shifting into something dangerous, something predatory. His voice dropped to a whisper only she could hear. Stay behind me. Lily nodded, even though her knees were weak. She didn't know why she trusted him. She didn't know why his presence made her feel safer than she had in years. But she also didn't know why the hallway sounded like an army had arrived. The door pushed open. 3 men stepped in. Black suits, black gloves, stone faces. They were wet from the rain, just like him, but their eyes weren't cold like his. Theirs were empty. The man in front of Lily didn't move, didn't flinch, didn't blink. One of the suited men bowed slightly. Boss, we've been looking everywhere for you. Lily's eyes widened. Boss? Her breath caught in her throat. Boss of what? The stranger's jaw tensed. Not in fear, but in annoyance. I told you to wait outside, he said quietly. You weren't answering your phone, the second man replied, glancing quickly at Lily and noticing the bruise under her collarbone. His gaze darkened, but not toward her, toward whoever hurt her. Lily suddenly realized all 3 of them were being careful not to alarm her, careful not to take a step too close, as if her fear mattered, as if their boss cared. The stranger exhaled slowly, hands loosening, but eyes never leaving the intruders. "Did anyone follow you?" "No, sir," the third man said. "But the board is asking for you. It's urgent." The stranger didn't respond. Instead, he turned slightly toward Lily. Just slightly, but enough for her to see something in his eyes she didn't expect. Conflict, as if he had somewhere extremely dangerous to be, yet he wasn't willing to leave her alone. The men noticed it too. One of them raised a brow. "Boss is his woman." "She's under my protection." The stranger cut in sharply. Lily's heart skipped. The bathroom went silent. The suited men straightened immediately. They didn't question him again. The first one bowed. "Understood." Lily swallowed hard. Protection? From what? From whom? And why her? The stranger stepped closer to Lily, voice low enough that it didn't echo. "I need to take care of something. It won't take long." I'll be fine," she whispered, though she knew it was a lie. Her hands were still shaking. His eyes lowered to her trembling fingers, and something inside him shifted, softened, just a little. "No, you won't." Her breath caught. He reached out, slowly, giving her time to flinch, but she didn't. His fingertips brushed her cheek, so gently it made her knees weaken. "Don't stay alone," he murmured. "Not after what he tried to do to you." Her throat tightened and she nodded, but she didn't know what else to say. She didn't even know his name. The men in the doorway waited quietly, but tense, as if danger was waiting for them outside the hotel walls. "What's your name?" Lily whispered, almost scared to ask. He paused, looked at her for a long, quiet moment. Then, "Do-hyun." His voice softened slightly as he added, "And you don't have to be afraid of me." But Lily wasn't afraid of him. Not him, just the world he clearly belonged to. However, before she could respond, footsteps echoed again, fast, desperate. Someone running through the hallway. Do-hyun's men turned sharply. A young bellboy stumbled into view in the mirror reflection behind them, panting hard. "Sir, Manager Han. He's called security. He's saying someone assaulted him. He's saying he's going to get the police." Lily's blood froze. Do-hyun's expression didn't move, didn't soften, didn't harden, just turned colder. Much colder. The bellboy swallowed nervously and added, He said he's going to get that waitress fired tonight." Lily's chest caved. Her vision blurred. She covered her mouth with her hand, tears threatening to spill. Of course Mr. Han would twist it. Of course he'd use his power. Of course he'd blame her. This was how it always went. Men like him were protected. Women like her were silenced. Do-hyun's voice came out calm. Too calm. "What exactly did he say?" he asked. "He said she seduced him, then attacked him," the bellboy whispered, eyes dropping to floor. "And he has witnesses. 2 of the kitchen staff signed statements already." Lily's heart shattered. I didn't do anything, I swear." "I know," Do-hyun said immediately. 3 simple words. But they hit her like warmth she hadn't felt in years. She looked up slowly, tears streaming down her cheeks. He stepped closer, wiping one tear with his thumb. Gently, carefully, like she was fragile. "No one is firing you tonight," he said softly. Lily tried to breathe, but her chest was tight with panic. "But he has witnesses. He always gets what he wants." "Not today." Do-hyun turned to his man. "Bring him to me." Lily's heart lurched. "No, wait. Please, don't hurt anyone because of me." Do-hyun faced her again, eyes intense but strangely gentle. "Lily." It was the first time he said her name. She froze. His voice dipped lower. "You deserve to feel safe." Her lips trembled, but before she could answer, one of his men spoke urgently. "Boss, we have a bigger problem." Do-hyun stiffened. "What?" "Mr. Han isn't alone. Someone else is here. Someone we recognize." Do-hyun's posture changed instantly. "Who?" The man hesitated. "Lee Sang-moon." Do-hyun's jaw clenched so hard the air in the room seemed to drop in temperature. Lily didn't know the name, but she knew fear. And every man in the bathroom looked terrified. Do-hyun cursed quietly under his breath. He came here? Why? The man swallowed. They say Sang-moon was seen in the lobby, asking for the waitress. Lily's entire body went numb. Do-hyun turned to her immediately, eyes blazing. Why would he be looking for you? I don't know. I swear I don't know who that is. Do-hyun believed her instantly, but his gaze darkened. So dark she felt chills run through her. He slowly took her hand. Not roughly, not possessively, but firmly, like he needed to keep her safe at all costs. And then he whispered, "You're coming with me." Before Lily could respond, before she could understand why a Mafia rival was looking for her, before she could breathe, the bathroom lights went out. The hotel plunged into darkness. And somewhere in the hallway, a deep male voice laughed. Low, mocking. Close. Too close. Do-hyun pulled Lily against him, protecting her as the darkness swallowed everything. The lights cut out so suddenly Lily thought the hotel had vanished from beneath her feet. The darkness was complete, thick, swallowing every shape, every shadow, every inch of safety she had moments ago. Her breath caught in her throat as cold air brushed her cheek. Do-hyun's arm wrapped around her instantly. Tight, protective. "Stay close," he whispered, his voice low enough to steady the panic rising in her chest. But seconds later, a slow, mocking clap echoed through the hallway. Then a laugh, deep, cold, and far too familiar to men standing around Do-hyun. Only Lily had never heard it before. But even she felt the wrongness in it. The hairs on the back of her neck stood up. Do-hyun turned sharply toward the sound, putting Lily behind him. His breath grew controlled, steady, but she could feel the tension radiating off him like heat. His man whispered urgently, "Boss, that's him." Lily clutched the back of Do-hyun's coat with trembling fingers, trying to stay silent, trying not to breathe too loudly. Footsteps approached, slow, deliberate, predatory. A pair of red emergency lights flickered on in the hallway, painting everything in the color of danger. Lily could barely see, just silhouettes, but she saw him, a tall figure, black suit, hands in pockets, and a smile that didn't reach his eyes. Lee Sang-moon. He leaned his shoulder against the wall as if he owned the hotel, as if he'd walked into this moment knowing he controlled it. Well, Do-hyun, he drawled. Still saving stray women? Do-hyun didn't answer. He didn't move, but the air around him tightened like a storm building. One of Do-hyun's men stepped forward. "This is private property. Leave." Sang-moon ignored him completely. His gaze drifted and stopped on Lily. Only then did his smile widen. "So that's her," he whispered. "The little waitress." Lily felt her stomach twist. Why did he know her? Why was he looking for her? His eyes traveled down her figure, slow and unsettling, lingering on the bruised skin near her collarbone. Lily instinctively hid behind Do-hyun's shoulder, fingers gripping him harder. Sang-moon chuckled. "Shy." Do-hyun finally spoke, voice low, deadly, shaking with restrained violence. "You look at her again," he said quietly, "and I break every bone in your face." Sang-moon tilted his head. "Is that so?" He stepped forward. Just once. Do-hyun reacted instantly, putting Lily fully behind him, hand reaching for something inside his coat. But Sang-moon raised both hands in mock surrender. "I only came to talk," he said. "No need for weapons." His eyes flicked to Lily again. "It's her I'm interested in." Lily's heart dropped. Do-hyun's men stiffened. Do-hyun's jaw flexed. "Why?" Sang-moon smirked. "Let's just say someone has been searching for her." Lily's legs nearly gave out. "Me? Why? I've done nothing. I'm nobody." Do-hyun must have felt her panic through his coat, because he reached back slightly, just enough for his fingers to brush hers. A silent reassurance. A promise. Sang-moon slowly slid his hands back into his pockets. "Relax, sweetheart. I'm not here to take you away. Not tonight." Do-hyun took a step forward, placing himself directly between Sang-moon and Lily. "Whatever business you think you have with her," he said, "ends here." Sang-moon grinned, eyes narrowing with a dangerous spark. "Oh, Hyuna, you still don't know, do you?" Do-hyun's eyebrows tightened slightly. Sang-moon chuckled. "She doesn't know either. but she will. He turned as if to leave, then paused, looked over his shoulder, and said something that made Lily's blood run cold. You should really ask her about her real name. Lily froze. Do-hyun turned to her slowly. Even his men looked confused. What? Lily whispered. What is he talking about? That's my real name. But Sang-moon kept speaking. Her file doesn't match. Not even close. He tapped his temple. Wrong age. Wrong birthplace. Wrong family registry. Everything about her is fake. Lily's heart hammered against her ribs so hard she felt dizzy. Fake? No. No, impossible. She tried to step forward, but Do-hyun kept her behind him. That's a lie, she said, voice trembling. I don't even know who that man is. Sang-moon shrugged casually. Maybe you don't remember. Trauma does that. Her breath stopped. Trauma? What trauma? Do-hyun's voice grew softer, dangerously soft. You have 10 seconds to leave. Sang-moon smirked, backing up. I'll leave, but she won't escape this. His eyes locked onto Lily one last time. Your past is already catching up to you. He disappeared into the shadows just as hotel security rounded the corner, rushing toward them with flashlights. Do-hyun didn't look at them, or at his men, or at anything else. He turned to Lily, slowly, carefully. Her eyes were wide, shining with confusion and fear. He reached for her hand. She let him. Lily, he whispered, look at me. She lifted her gaze, tears already forming. Do-hyun brushed her hair away from her face, searching her expression like he was afraid of what he might find. Did you hide your identity? He asked softly. No, she cried. No, I swear. I don't even know what he meant. Do-hyun cupped her cheeks gently. Hey, breathe. Look at me. She swallowed hard, trying to ground herself. Something's wrong, she whispered. Why does he know me? Why would anyone look for me? I'm not connected to anything. Do-hyun's thumb brushed a tear from her cheek. You are now, he said quietly. Footsteps approached. Security yelling. Guests panicking in the distance, alarms beeping from the sudden power loss. But Do-hyun didn't break eye contact. His voice dropped so low only she could hear. You don't remember the past they're talking about, do you? Lily shook her head, terrified. No, I don't. I've never. Do-hyun exhaled sharply, jaw tightening. There's only one reason Sang-moon would know your identity better than you do. Her breath hitched. What reason? She whispered. He leaned in, his forehead nearly touching hers. Because someone erased it. Lily went silent, completely still. Her lips parted. Her heartbeat stopped. Erased? Her identity erased? Do-hyun's next words came out like a dark, painful truth. And people only erase identities when a person is in danger. Lily's knees finally gave out. Do-hyun caught her, held her, shielded her from everything. But as he carried her out of the dark bathroom, Lily saw something in the reflection of the shattered marble, a symbol scratched into the wall, a crescent moon wrapped in thorns. Sang-moon's mark. Under it were 2 words, welcome back. Lily's heartbeat pounded against Do-hyun's chest, fast and uneven, like her body was trying to escape the terror she couldn't outrun. His grip tightened around her as he carried her past security guards shouting into their radios, past guests peeking from their doors, past flickering emergency lights that made the whole place look like a crime scene. Do-hyun didn't stop, didn't slow, didn't look at anyone. His men formed a protective circle around him as they walked, but Lily barely noticed. Her mind was spinning in circles, trying to make sense of words that didn't belong to her reality. Your file doesn't match, wrong age, wrong birthplace, wrong registry. Your identity was erased. Every step Do-hyun took echoed those words inside her skull. Put me down, Lily whispered weakly. No, I can walk. No, you can't. His voice had an edge, not at her, but at the world for touching her, at the danger circling her, at Sang-moon's smile. Do-hyun turned a corner and finally set her down near a quieter hallway, bracing one hand against the wall while keeping his other arm around her waist so she didn't collapse again. He crouched slightly, bringing his eyes level with hers. Look at me. She couldn't. Her breath was short, shaky, trapped inside her chest. Do-hyun gently placed a hand over her heart, feeling the frantic rhythm beneath her ribs. "You're having a panic attack," he murmured. "Breathe with me." She shook her head. I can't. What if what he said is true? What if I'm not even real, I don't know anything? Lily. He cupped her cheeks, forcing her eyes to meet his. "You're real." She blinked fast, tears threatening. "But he lies," Do-hyun said firmly. "He manipulates. He twists the truth to get inside people's heads. That's how Sang-moon operates." "But why me?" she whispered. "Why would he care about a waitress?" Do-hyun didn't answer, because he didn't know yet, and that scared him more than anything. One of his men approached cautiously. "Boss, security is demanding statements. They want to question the girl. And Manager Han is downstairs making a scene." Lily felt her stomach twist into knots. Of course he'd flip the story. Of course he'd make himself the victim. Do-hyun turned to the man. "We're not going downstairs." "Boss, they're threatening police involvement." Lily's legs went weak again. No, please. I can't deal with this now." "You won't." Do-hyun's voice cut through her fear like steel. He turned back to his man. "Call Attorney Nam. Tell him to shut this entire building down, if he has to." "Yes, sir." The man rushed off. Lily grabbed Do-hyun's sleeve. "You're going to get in trouble because of me." "I don't care." His answer was immediate. Absolute. She swallowed hard, voice barely a whisper. "You don't even know me." His jaw tightened. "Someone came to find you. Someone who shouldn't know your name. That makes you my business." "But why?" Her voice cracked. "Why do you care so much?" Do-hyun hesitated. A long, heavy silence followed. "You were shaking when I found you," he said quietly, barely breathing, terrified, and still trying to stand on your own. He lowered his gaze for a moment, like something about that image hurt him. "I don't walk away from people like that." Lily's lips parted, but no words formed, because something in his voice felt too real, too honest. Do-hyun straightened as one of his other men approached. "Boss!" The cameras near the bathroom door were tampered with. Do-hyun froze. Lily felt her breath stop. "Tampered? What do you mean?" she whispered. The man bowed slightly. "Someone erased the footage. Cleanly. Professionally." Lily felt the world tilt. Erased. Again that word. Her identity. The footage. Her past. Do-hyun's jaw clenched as he asked, "When?" "Less than an hour ago." Lily felt cold all over. "Someone erased that footage," the man said carefully, "before the manager entered the bathroom." Silence. Heavy. Dangerous. Lily's knees buckled. Do-hyun caught her again. "No," she whispered. "No, that's not possible. Nobody even knew I would be." "Someone did," Do-hyun said darkly. "Someone planned it. Someone wanted her isolated, wanted her defenseless, wanted her cornered." Do-hyun's voice dropped lower. This wasn't random. He brushed a strand of hair from her face, worry tightening his expression. "They targeted you." "But why?" Her voice cracked. "I don't know them. I don't know anything about any of this." A sudden loud crash echoed from downstairs. Manager Han yelling, cursing, causing a scene with security. Lily flinched hard. Do-hyun didn't. He turned to his man. "Prepare the car." Lily looked up quickly. Where are we going?" "Somewhere safe." "I can't just leave. I work here. They'll fire me." "They won't," he said calmly. "How do you know?" He leaned in, his forehead almost touching hers. "I'm not letting anyone lay a finger on you." Her breath hitched. His men moved quickly, scanning the hall, guarding every angle. But Lily noticed something else, something that made her tremble harder. Do-hyun's hand was still around her waist, not possessively, not forcefully, protectively, like he was afraid she might disappear. "Do-hyun," she whispered. "What if he was right?" "About what?" "What if I really don't know who I am?" Do-hyun looked at her for a long, weighted moment. Then he said something she didn't expect, something that didn't comfort her, but made her feel seen. Then we'll find out. She inhaled shakily. Why would you help me like this? His expression softened just slightly. Because I've seen girls like you, he murmured, running from something they don't remember, but that never stopped chasing them. Her tears finally fell. And because, he added, voice dropping to a low rumble, Sang-moon doesn't chase nobodies. She froze. Sang-moon chased her. Why? Before she could ask again, one of Do-hyun's men rushed in urgently. Boss, we have another problem. Do-hyun stiffened. What now? The man pointed to the stairwell door. A white envelope was taped to it. Clean. Perfect. Untouched. Do-hyun walked toward it cautiously, hand on his weapon. Lily clung to the wall. Shaking, he tore the envelope open, pulled out a single photograph. The moment he saw it, his expression went rigid. Boss, his man asked. Do-hyun didn't speak. Lily forced herself to step closer. What is it? He turned the photo around. Lily's entire body froze. Her heartbeat stopped. Her breath shattered. Because the photo was of her. But not recent. Not now. A childhood picture. A little girl, smiling, standing in front of a house she didn't recognize, holding the hand of a man with his face burned out of the photograph. And across the bottom, written in sharp black ink, she belongs to U.S. Lily dropped to her knees. Do-hyun caught the photo as her hand slipped. Her voice came out barely audible. I don't remember this. Do-hyun crouched in front of her, lifting her face gently. Lily, listen to me. But she couldn't. Her mind was gone. Her vision blurred. Her body trembled. Her past, the one she thought existed, felt like it was cracking beneath her feet. Do-hyun pressed his forehead against hers. Lily, look at me. She lifted her eyes slowly. Broken, terrified, shaking. We're leaving now, he whispered, before they get bolder. Who's they? She choked out. Do-hyun hesitated. Then finally said the words he didn't want her to hear. The Crescent Syndicate. Lily felt ice run through her veins. I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for any of this. Stop. His voice softened. None of this is your fault. She swallowed hard, tears falling onto her hands. Do-hyun lifted her chin again, carefully, like she was fragile. They found you once, he said. They won't get a second chance. He reached for her hand. She didn't let go. He pulled her close. She didn't resist. But just when she finally felt her breathing steady again, the stairwell door behind them creaked open. Do-hyun spun around instantly, gun drawn. Lily covered her mouth as a shadow stepped through the doorway. Tall, broad, dressed in black, and holding something in his hand. A locket, old, silver, worn by years. He dropped it on the floor. It slid to Lily's feet and stopped. The man's voice echoed in the dim hallway. Little Lily, he whispered. It's time to come home. Lily screamed. Do-hyun lunged. Lily didn't remember how long she stood there, inside the dim hallway leading toward the loading bay. Her body frozen between fear and the heat of Do-hyun's body so close behind her. The night air rushed in from the cracked service door, carrying the sharp scent of rain and gasoline. The hotel music in the distance felt muffled, almost non-existent. Only their breathing existed. She turned slowly, expecting him to step back. He didn't. He only lowered his head slightly, studying her swollen cheek, the redness on her neck left by the manager's grip, the trembling in her hand she kept trying to hide. You're hurt, he said again, quieter this time. A shadow of something fierce flickered across his eyes, a storm waiting behind dark glass. Lily swallowed. It's nothing. His jaw tightened, like the word offended him. Nothing, he repeated, voice low. Someone cornered you in a bathroom. Someone put hands on you. She tried to smile, tried to be the strong girl she always forced herself to be. I'm used to handling things myself. I have been for a long time. That made him pause, like something in that sentence echoed in his bones. Why? Because she was alone, because she had no family in Korea, because she had debts back home, because she had no one to fight for her. But she said none of that. Instead, she just lowered her eyes. Because life doesn't give you many choices. Do-hyun exhaled through his nose, slow and heavy. Life gives people like him too many choices, he muttered. Footsteps echoed from the hallway behind them. Multiple, hurried, chaotic. Do-hyun shifted immediately, stepping forward with a predator's stillness, placing himself between her and the approaching noise. His shoulders squared in that calm, controlled danger wrapped around him again like a second skin. Two hotel workers rushed past the corner and froze when they saw him. They bowed instantly, fear flashing in their eyes. Not because they recognized him, but because they could sense him. Someone called security, one of the men blurted. The manager is screaming that a guest assaulted him. Do-hyun let out a soft, unimpressed breath. Assaulted? Lily's stomach dropped. Wait, what? He's lying, the worker stammered. He's telling everyone you attacked him. Lily felt cold creep up her spine. Her hands instinctively reached for Do-hyun's sleeve. I can't lose this job. Please, I can't get in trouble. My visa. Do-hyun didn't even let her finish. Look at me, he said, turning slightly. She looked up, and his voice softened, like he was grounding her with just his tone. No one is firing you. No one is touching your visa. Then, colder, no one is punishing you for defending yourself from a man like that. The workers exchanged terrified glances. Do-hyun's eyes narrowed. Where is he? Still in the corridor near the ballroom. One whispered. Security is with him right now. Lily stepped forward quickly. No, please, don't go. He'll twist everything. He'll say, Do-hyun placed a single finger under her chin, lifting it just slightly, just enough to stop her panic. I said you're safe, he murmured. I don't make promises I can't keep. Her heart thudded. Too loud, too fast. The workers bowed again in panic and rushed off, leaving them alone in the quiet hallway. Do-hyun turned toward the ballroom, and Lily grabbed his arm. Her fingers barely closed around him, but he stopped instantly, like her touch overruled everything inside him. Why? Why are you helping me? She whispered. You don't even know me. He slowly turned toward her. The overhead light flickered once, catching the sharp angle of his jaw, the intensity in his eyes. It's been a long time, he said quietly, since I saw someone smile the way you did earlier at the table. People don't smile like that in my world anymore. Lily blinked. She didn't understand. But when I saw that smile break, he continued in a low, almost haunted tone, I remembered something I thought I forgot. What? She asked, breath unsteady. What it feels like, he said, to watch something pure get hurt. Her chest tightened, and before she could say anything, a loud shout echoed from the ballroom hallway. That's her. She attacked me first. The manager's voice, sharp, dramatic, full of lies. Lily's stomach dropped to the floor. She felt her legs weaken. Do-hyun didn't even look back at her. He just rolled his sleeves up slowly, quietly, too calmly, like a man preparing for something inevitable. Stay behind me, he said, voice calm but layered with danger. Don't speak unless I tell you to. Do-hyun. Lily. His tone softened. I'm not going to hurt him. Relief washed through her. Then he added, colder, not unless he tries to hurt you again. And Lily froze, because in his eyes, she finally saw the truth she had been missing since the moment she met him. He wasn't just a handsome stranger. He wasn't just a rich man. He wasn't just someone passing through her life for one strange, terrifying night. He was something else. Something powerful. Something dangerous. Something no hotel manager in Seoul should ever provoke. Do-hyun took a step toward the ballroom corridor. But before he reached it, security stormed around the corner. 3 guards. The manager, face red, hair disheveled, followed behind them, pointing aggressively. That's her, and that's the man with her. They're causing trouble. Arrest them. Lily's heart fell out of her chest. The guards moved toward them, and Do-hyun didn't move an inch, didn't flinch, didn't blink. He simply tilted his head, and the guard stopped. All 3, mid-step, like something unseen passed through the air. The manager stumbled, confused. What were you idiots doing? That's a guest. Arrest them. One guard stuttered, voice trembling. Yes, sir. We can't arrest that man. Why not? The guard swallowed hard. Because he's... And right then, a deeper voice echoed from behind them. Boss Do-hyun. Everyone froze. A tall man in a black suit stepped through the hallway, bowing deeply. The atmosphere shifted. The guards bowed instantly. The manager went pale. Lily's heart stopped. Boss? She slowly looked at Do-hyun, and he finally looked back at her, his expression unreadable, his voice calm. This is the part, he said quietly, I didn't want you to see yet. Her breath caught. What are you? Do-hyun stepped forward as a man in the suit waited, and with the softest but most dangerous voice Lily had ever heard, he said, someone your manager should have never touched. The manager began trembling violently. The hallway went silent, and Lily realized this night was about to change her life forever. Before she could process any of it, Do-hyun looked at the manager and spoke a single sentence, one that sent a tremor through everyone present. Bring him to me. The guards grabbed the manager instantly. No, wait, please. They dragged him down the hallway, his screams echoing. Lily's entire body shook. And Do-hyun, he turned toward her, slow, controlled, almost regretful. Stay here, he said softly. No matter what you hear. He walked away before she could speak. And the last thing Lily heard, before the sound of the door slamming shut, was her own heart pounding louder than the manager's screams behind it, and the realization that the man who had saved her wasn't just dangerous. He was the one danger no one in Korea dared touch. And now, he was walking straight into a room to punish someone for hurting her. The door clicked. Silence followed. Then, a single, deep thud shook the hallway. Lily covered her mouth, because she didn't know what scared her more, the monster behind the door, or the fact that a part of her didn't want him to stop. The door shook again. A deep, heavy thud, followed by a strangled cry, echoed down the service hallway, bouncing against the metal walls, slicing straight through Lily's chest. She covered her mouth with both hands, her breath growing thin and shaky. The guards who remained outside kept their eyes lowered, their bodies stiff, as if even flinching might cost them their lives. The rain outside grew harder. It pattered against the loading bay door like nervous fingertips tapping glass. The air felt colder. The hallway felt smaller. Every second felt like it collapsed into the next. Another muffled sound came from inside the room. A crash, then a choke scream. Lily's knees weakened. This was her fault. Stop, please stop, she whispered to no one, her voice trembling. She pressed one hand against her chest, trying to slow her heartbeat, trying to breathe, try and make sense of the fact that moments ago she had been cleaning wine glasses and serving overpriced cocktails, and now she was standing outside a locked room while a Korean Mafia boss dealt with a man who hurt her. She'd known fear before, but this was different. This was fear mixed with something warm, something protective, something she didn't understand and wasn't sure she wanted to. The guard nearest her cleared his throat quietly. Miss, you should sit. Lily shook her head quickly. No, I'm fine. He lowered his gaze again, like he regretted even speaking. Boss Do-hyun won't hurt you, he murmured softly. He doesn't harm the innocent. She swallowed hard. What about him? She whispered, nodding toward the door. The guard hesitated. Like the truth itself was sharp enough to cut skin. If Boss Do-hyun is inside, he said softly, then someone inside deserves what they're getting. Lily felt a shiver race across her spine. She didn't have time to respond, because the screaming suddenly stopped. Completely. Silence fell like a thick blanket over the hallway. And somehow, that silence was worse. Lily took one step forward. Another. Her hand hovered over the doorknob. But before she could touch it, the lock clicked from the inside. The door opened slowly. And Do-hyun stepped out. Calm. Composed. Sleeves rolled back down. Hair perfectly in place. Not a single mark on him. But his knuckles were slightly red. Just slightly. He didn't look at anyone at first. He just exhaled slowly, as if releasing the last of his anger. Then he lifted his head, and his eyes locked on hers. Lily froze. The guards bowed instantly. Do-hyun ignored them, walking past them without a glance. His footsteps were steady, deliberate, almost too controlled. He stopped right in front of her. He lifted his hand. She flinched, only slightly, but enough for him to pause. His voice softened. "I'm not going to hurt you." He touched her cheek gently with the back of his fingers, checking the swollen skin. His touch was soft, too soft. It didn't match the man who had just gone into that room. "You shouldn't stay in a place that allows a man like him to work here," he said quietly. Lily looked at the floor. I need the income." "And now," he asked, "if they fire you?" Her stomach tightened. He was right. The manager would lie. The hotel would protect their staff. She was a foreign waitress. She had no power here. But before panic could rise again, Do-hyun said, in a voice so calm it didn't match the chaos around them, "They won't touch you." The certainty in his tone startled her. "How do you know?" His eyes sharpened just a little. "Because this hotel belongs to one of my associates." She blinked. "W what?" "If anyone lays a hand on you," he continued, "they answer to me." Her breath stuck in her throat. His authority, it didn't feel human. It felt carved from something heavy, dark, and absolute. The loading bay door groaned as a gust of wind slammed into it. Rain splattered inside, hitting Do-hyun's shoes. He looked at her again. Really looked. His gaze softer than anything had shown anyone else tonight. "Come with me." Her pulse jumped. "What? Where?" "You shouldn't be here when the police arrive," he said. "And I don't want your name dragged into this." "What about my job?" she whispered. "You still have it," he said simply. "I made sure of that." "How?" Her voice cracked. "What did you do to him?" His expression didn't change. "Enough." Her heart pounded. "Do-hyun, did you hurt him badly?" He didn't blink. "Not as badly as he wanted to hurt you." That answer, it sent a warmth through her chest she didn't want to feel, didn't want to admit. He pointed toward the side exit. "My car is outside. Come with me. I'll take you somewhere safe." Somewhere safe. She almost laughed. "Safe? With you?" Do-hyun's eyes softened, barely. "Safer than here." "Why are you doing this?" she whispered again. "Why me?" He stepped closer. Not threatening, not intimidating, just close enough for her to feel the heat radiating off his body. "When I heard him touch you," he said quietly, almost confessing, "something in me snapped." Her heart tripped over itself. "That has never happened before," he added, voice low. "Not for anyone." Lily's lips parted, but she couldn't speak. She couldn't even breathe properly. And then, behind them, a faint, broken groan drifted from inside the room. Lily's eyes widened. Do-hyun didn't turn back. He simply placed his hand on the small of her back, gentle, guiding, steady. "Let's get you out of here," he murmured. They walked toward the exit. But just before they reached the door, the emergency speakers crackled overhead. "All staff, please report to the main floor. Police are en route." Lily froze. Police. If she was questioned, if her name was on a report, if this turned into something bigger, her visa, her job, her entire life here would be over. Do-hyun's hand was still on her back. "Don't be afraid," he said softly. But when she looked up at him, his eyes weren't soft anymore. They were cold, dark, lethal, and she realized he wasn't afraid of the police. He wasn't afraid of consequences. He wasn't afraid of anything. And anyone who tried to take her away tonight would become his enemy. He opened the exit door, rain blowing in. But before she stepped outside, Lily heard one more sound. A faint, distant voice from the ballroom hallway. A voice trembling in terror. "There's that man. He's not human." A chill raced through Lily's body. And when she looked at Do-hyun again, she finally believed it. He wasn't. They stepped out into the rain, and the door slammed shut behind them, leaving her job, her safety, and everything she ever knew on the other side. Rain hammered down like needles against the pavement as Lily stepped into the cold night. Her shoes, soaking instantly. The wind whipped through the alley behind the hotel, carrying the metallic scent of the storm and the faint echo of sirens somewhere far off. Do-hyun didn't seem bothered by the rain at all. He walked ahead of her, slow enough for her to keep up, but steady, like a man who moved through storms every day of his life. His black coat swayed behind him, darkening with water, clinging to his frame. Even drenched, he walked with the same quiet danger, the same unshakable certainty, the same aura that made the entire hotel bow without question. Lily followed him because she had no choice, because everything behind her was collapsing, because the life she'd built with nothing but hope and stubbornness was suddenly hanging by a thread, but also because she felt safer walking behind this dangerous man than she did anywhere else tonight. They reached the far end of the alley where a sleek black car idled under a flickering street lamp. The engine hummed softly. A man in a dark suit jumped out immediately and bowed deeply. "Boss," he said breathlessly. "I came as soon as I got the call." Do-hyun nodded once. "Open the door." The man rushed to obey. Lily hesitated. Every cell in her body screamed that stepping into the car would change everything, that she wouldn't be able to go back to her normal life after this night, that she was stepping into something she did not understand, something bigger, darker, and more dangerous than anything she had survived before. Do-hyun stood by the open door, looking back at her. "Lily!" Her heart jumped. He said her name like it belonged in his mouth. "You're shaking," he murmured. "I'm cold," she lied. "No," he said quietly, reading her too easily. "You're scared." Another siren wailed in the distance. Lily's hands clenched. "Do-hyun, if the police see me leave with you—" "They won't," he said. "And even if they did, they'll look the other way." That sentence alone felt unreal. "How powerful are you?" she whispered. He didn't answer. He didn't need to. The silence was louder than the storm. He held the door open for her, but didn't touch her, didn't rush her. He just waited, letting the rain pour over him as if he didn't feel the cold. After a long moment, Lily took a breath, and she stepped inside. The warmth of the car wrapped around her instantly. Soft leather seats, dim interior lights, the faint smell of something expensive, cedar and night rain mixed with something distinctly him. Do-hyun entered after her, closing the door with a heavy, final thud. The driver sped off immediately. Lily stared at the raindrops racing down the window. Her entire reflection trembled. Do-hyun watched her in silence for a moment. "You think you made a mistake," he murmured. She didn't deny it. "I don't know what just happened back there. I don't know what you did to him." "He's alive," Do-hyun said. "If that matters to you." She swallowed. It did. Too much. "But if he ever tries to come near you again," he added softly, "he won't be." Her breath hitched. She turned toward him slightly. "Why are you doing this? You don't even know me." His jaw flexed. "You think I'm helping you because I'm kind." Lily blinked. "Aren't you?" "No," he said. "Not even close." Her pulse stumbled. He leaned back in the seat, eyes half lowered, like he was debating what to reveal and what to hide. "When I saw him put his hands on you, my mind went blank." Lily's blood warmed beneath her skin. "I haven't lost control like that in years," he continued, voice low and slow. "Not since." He stopped himself. Lily leaned in just an inch. "Since what?" His eyes lifted, meeting hers. A storm lived there, one darker than the rain outside. "Since something I vowed never to remember," he whispered. Lily's throat tightened. The car turned sharply onto a quieter street, heading away from the city center. Neon reflections smeared across the windows, like colors bleeding into water. Do-hyun watched her again. "You're hurt," he said, noticing the bruise forming on her cheek. She touched it instinctively. "I can handle it." "That's what you said earlier," he murmured. "And look what happened." Her chest tightened. "I didn't expect a manager to—" "That's the problem," Do-hyun cut in softly. "You keep expecting the world to be fair." She looked down. He wasn't wrong. Lily had always hoped, if she worked hard, kept her head down, stayed kind, life would eventually give something back. Tonight had proven otherwise. Do-hyun reached into the compartment and handed her a soft cloth. She took it, surprised. For the rain, he said. She dabbed her face gently. He continued watching. Too closely, too intensely. Why were you working there? He asked suddenly, studying her expression. I needed the money, she said honestly. Rent is expensive. Bills. Food. I sent some money home too. And no one helps you? She shook her head. It's just me. Do-hyun leaned back slowly. That's why, he murmured. Lily blinked. Why what? He didn't answer right away. His gaze drifted to the window, watching the passing lights. That's why tonight bothered me, he said finally. You fight alone. You survive alone. People like you, the world is always crueler to them. Lily lowered her eyes. His voice softened even more. And people like me, his jaw tightened. We don't forget when the world hurts someone who deserved better. Her breath caught. She felt seen. More seen than she had in years. But before she could speak, the car slowed. Do-hyun nodded toward the window. We're here. Lily turned. Her eyes widened. A tall, modern building towered above them. Glass panels reflecting the storm, soft warm lights glowing inside. Not a hotel, not a restaurant. Something private, exclusive, silent. Where are we? She whispered. A safer place, he said. The driver stepped out and opened the door. Do-hyun exited first, then held out his hand to her. Not demanding, not forceful, just waiting. Rain splashed against the pavement. Lightning flashed far in the distance. Lily stared at his hand. She could turn back. She could run. She could pretend this night never happened. But behind her was fear, and in front of her, danger wrapped in the strange warmth of protection. Her fingers trembled as she reached out and placed her hand in his. His grip tightened gently, warm, steady, unshakable. Thunder rolled across the sky as he led her toward the entrance. But before they reached the doors, a man in a suit rushed out of the building, panic in his eyes. Boss, we have a problem. Do-hyun didn't stop walking. Speak. It's about the hotel manager, the man said, voice shaking. Someone reported what happened. Lily froze. Do-hyun's hand tightened around hers. Let them report, he said coldly. It won't change anything. The man swallowed. Yes, but, boss, it wasn't staff. Do-hyun finally turned, eyes narrowing. Then who? The man hesitated, then whispered. The cartel saw everything. Lily's blood ran cold. Do-hyun's jaw tightened. The air thickened, and the storm outside suddenly felt quieter than the danger waiting ahead. The words hung in the air like a blade. Lily didn't understand all of it, but she understood enough. Cartel saw everything. Her hand slipped from Do-hyun for a second, trembling, but he caught it again instantly, fingers closing around hers with a firm, grounding grip. Explain, he said to the man, voice low enough to make the rain hesitate. The man swallowed hard. One of the cartel's lookouts was outside the back loading bay. He saw you drag the manager inside. He saw the guards. He saw everything that happened afterward. Lily felt her stomach twist. Why would the cartel be watching a hotel? The man shifted nervously. Boss, they've been moving through that district again, laying claim to businesses, recruiting, watching who walks in and out. Do-hyun's expression sharpened. Of course it wasn't random. Of course they were watching. Of course this night wasn't done destroying her life yet. The man continued, voice trembling. They already sent a message. Lily's breath caught. A message? The man stepped closer and spoke in a whisper she wasn't supposed to hear, but she heard every word. They said the girl belongs to them now. Lily's vision blurred. The world tilted. Her lungs fought for air that didn't want to enter. Do-hyun didn't move at first. He stood perfectly still, too still, until his jaw clenched, his eyes darkened, and something dangerous settled over his entire body like a second skin. Who? He said softly, too softly. Told him she was theirs? And no one from us, boss, the guard stuttered. They said it because because the manager had already reported her before you intervened. Lily's heart plummeted. Reported me, she whispered, voice cracking. The man nodded anxiously. The manager was working with them, providing girls information, access. He marked you days ago. They were planning to use you for her. Enough. Do-hyun's voice cut through the explanation like a blade. The man stopped instantly, bowing his head. But Lily already felt the meaning. They weren't going to hire her. They weren't going to promote her. They weren't going to protect her. They were going to sell her. Her knees buckled, but before she could fall, Do-hyun stepped in, grabbing her waist, steadying her fully against his chest. Rainwater dripped down her hair and onto his coat. His voice lowered, soft but ironclad. Lily, look at me. She shook her head weakly. Look at me. She forced herself to lift her eyes. He cupped her cheek, the same cheek the manager struck earlier, and wiped the raindrops away as if removing memories he couldn't stand existing. No one, he said slowly, will ever take you. Her lips parted, trembling. This is my fault, all of this, if I hadn't worked there. No! His voice dropped, firm and dangerous. This has nothing to do with you. They target the powerless. They take what they think they can break. They thought you were unprotected. He leaned closer, forehead almost touching hers. They were wrong. Thunder cracked sharply overhead, illuminating the fury in his eyes. He turned back toward the guard. Where are they now? We're not sure, the man said. But the lookout ran. They'll spread the word. They'll come for her. Do-hyun's expression went completely blank. The kind of blank that meant violence. Prep the basement, he ordered. Alert Junsu, Min-jae, and the 2nd Division. No one gets in or out without my clearance. Yes, boss. The guard ran inside. Do-hyun gently pulled Lily toward the building entrance. She followed, her legs weak, her mind spinning. Inside, the lobby was warm, quiet, dimly lit with soft gold lights. Marble floors, dark wooden accents. Everything felt expensive, heavy, private. This is one of my safe properties, Do-hyun said. No one knows it belongs to me. No one except my top man. Lily barely heard him. Her breath shook as she looked around. Are you putting me here? She whispered. For now, he said, until this is handled. Handled how? She whispered. He stopped walking. He turned to her fully, and his next words were so calm that they made her blood run cold. I'm going to wipe them out. Lily's hand flew to her mouth. Do-hyun. They put their hands on what's mine, he said, almost too softly. They threatened you. That's enough. Her heart stuttered. She didn't know what frightened her more, the cartel, or how easily Do-hyun was willing to start a war because of her. You can't just kill people because of me, she said, voice breaking. I can, he corrected. And I will. He took a slow breath. Then another. Lily, you don't understand what they intended to do to you, what they've done to others, what kind of monsters they are. I'm not doing this because of a bruise on your cheek. He stepped closer. His voice dropped to a dangerous whisper. I'm doing this because they marked you. Her entire body froze. Marked. He continued, his tone low and lethal. They put you on a list. They planned to take you. They claimed you. And once someone is on their list, he paused, eyes darkening. They don't stop until they have them. Lily's throat closed. And you'll stop them? She whispered. His answer came instantly. Yes. Lightning flashed through the tall windows again. Rain streaked down the glass like ghostly fingers. Do-hyun, Lily whispered, afraid, overwhelmed, grateful, and confused all at the same time. Why me? Why are you protecting me like this? He exhaled slowly, not tired, but as if fighting something inside himself. Because the moment I heard your voice in that bathroom, he said, I knew I would do anything to stop your fear. She swallowed. And I don't understand why, he added softly. Not yet. Her heart thudded painfully. Before she could answer, the elevator dinged. A man ran out, breathless. Boss, we have a bigger problem. Do-hyun didn't even flinch. Speak. The man bowed. We intercepted a message. The cartel knows she left with you. They know your car. They saw the direction you drove. Lily's breath hitched. They're following us? No, the man said. They're already ahead of us. Do-hyun's eyes narrowed. How? The man swallowed. Because they knew you'd take her somewhere safe. Another chill shot through Lily's spine. The man continued, voice shaking. They're waiting outside your main headquarters. Do-hyun's jaw locked. Lily gasped quietly, and the guard whispered the last part. They're not hiding, boss. They're standing in the open. They want you to come. Do-hyun's eyes turned pitch black. He released Lily's hand slowly. Not because he was letting her go, but because he was about to turn into something the world feared. Take her to the 10th floor, he ordered. No one enters. No one leaves. Anyone suspicious gets taken down. Yes, boss. Lily reached for him instinctively. Do-hyun, wait. His hand stopped halfway, hovering above hers. I'll be back, he said quietly. How can you be sure? She whispered. He leaned in, just close enough that she could feel his breath brush her lips. Because I'm not done fighting for you. Then he turned. He walked away. No hesitation. No fear. Only the storm he carried inside him. And as the doors swung shut behind him, the last thing Lily heard was the guard's terrified whisper. The cartel brought their top executioner. They want war. Lily didn't breathe for a full second. Do-hyun's body was still half covering hers, his arm locked around her waist as if his instincts refused to let go. His other hand was still holding her chin from when he forced her to look at him. The world outside that rooftop door was chaos, but inside this tiny space between them, everything felt too loud. His heartbeat, her heartbeat, the cold night wind slipping through the rooftop gap. Every sound felt amplified. He leaned in just a little, searching her face. You're shaking, he whispered. She forced a thin breath. Because you scared me. His eyes softened for half a second, so fast she almost missed it. Not my intention. Then why grab me like that? She asked, voice cracking under the pressure of everything that had just happened. Because you were about to walk straight into danger. Lily's eyes narrowed. What danger? Do-hyun didn't answer. He stood straighter, still close, still blocking her, and looked over his shoulder at the rooftop door, as if expecting someone to burst out at any moment. Stay behind me, he said quietly. No matter what you hear. Do-hyun. He didn't let her finish. He pushed the rooftop door open with a calmness that didn't match the tension in his body. Lily followed despite his order, keeping her steps light, her breath shaky. The stairwell was too silent, too cold, too empty. On the second landing, Do-hyun stopped suddenly. A shadow flickered below. A man stepped into view. Tall, wearing a black bomber jacket and a cap pulled low. He didn't belong to the hotel staff. His stare was locked on Do-hyun. And then he smiled. I didn't expect to find the boss of White Dragon walking around alone. Brave. Lily froze. The words hit her like ice water. Boss? White Dragon? Mafia? She looked at Do-hyun's back, but he didn't turn toward her. His voice was low enough for only the stranger to hear, but Lily caught it anyway. You shouldn't have followed me here. No, no, the man sneered. I was actually looking for something else. But this is even better. His gaze flicked to Lily, and that smile grew wider. Oh, he said slowly, you brought a girl. Do-hyun moved instantly, one step to the side, one arm slightly extended in front of Lily, his shoulders squared. That's when the truth hit her harder than anything else tonight. He was protecting her. The man tilted his head. Never thought I'd see the White Dragon leader shielding a waitress. Do-hyun's jaw ticked. Say another word about her. The man chuckled. Or what? You'll kill me in this pretty little hotel stairwell. Do-hyun didn't answer. He didn't need to. There was something in the way he stood that made the entire stairwell feel colder. Something ruthless. Something sharp. Something that didn't belong to the quiet man who ordered chamomile tea and stared out windows like he was carrying the whole world on his back. The stranger reached into his jacket. Lily's pulse exploded in her ears. Do-hyun's hand twitched just slightly, but it was enough to tell her he was ready for something violent. The stranger pulled out a phone. He raised it. Snap! He took a picture of Do-hyun and Lily together. "Oh, my boss will love this," he mocked. "You know the rules, right? Anyone you protect becomes leverage." Do-hyun exhaled very slowly, and in that breath, Lily sensed something shift inside him. Something dark. Something dangerous. The stranger began scrolling through his phone with a smirk. "Let's see, maybe I should send it now." His thumb hovered over the screen. Do-hyun moved. It was silent. It was fast. It was terrifying. In one fluid motion, he stepped forward, grabbed the man's wrist, slammed it against the railing, and twisted hard enough to make the stranger gasp and drop the phone. Before the device even hit the ground, Do-hyun kicked it down the stairwell. The stranger stumbled. Do-hyun shoved him against the wall. "You take her name off your tongue," he said quietly. "You forget her face. You forget this night." The man spat blood. "Or what?" Do-hyun leaned closer, and Lily saw it. The real him. The man the whispers in the staff room talked about. The man guests stared with fear, disguised as curiosity. The man whose silence spoke louder than violence. The Mafia boss. "Or I make you forget everything you ever knew," Do-hyun whispered. The stranger grimaced but started laughing shakily. "You're already slipping, Do-hyun. Protecting random women? Acting alone? You've changed, and people notice." Do-hyun tightened his grip. The man winced in pain. "Walk away," Do-hyun said. "Now." The stranger tried to smirk, but failed. He staggered down the stairs, clutching his arm, still laughing under his breath. Lily didn't move until the man's footsteps were gone. Do-hyun didn't move either. He just stood there, hand braced against the wall, breathing through clenched teeth. His shoulders trembled, but only slightly, like he was forcing himself not to break something. Or someone. Lily stepped closer. Do-hyun. Slowly he turned his head, and she realized he wasn't angry. He was scared. Not for himself. For her. "Are you hurt?" he asked. "No," she whispered. He closed his eyes for a second, relief visibly washing over him. But when he opened them again, everything inside him seemed locked down. Walls slammed back into place. Ice covered everything that had melted moments ago. "We need to leave the building," he said. "Now." "Because of him?" "Because there are more." Her breath caught. "Coming here." He nodded once. "Why?" she asked. Do-hyun looked at her with a truth that seemed to weigh 1,000 tons. "Because I wasn't the only one watching you." Her chest tightened. "Watching me? Do-hyun, why? Why would anyone?" He didn't answer with words. He reached into his pocket, pulled out something small, a folded piece of paper. He held it out. Lily unfolded it, and the blood drained from her face. Her picture, her face, printed on glossy paper, circled in red. Below it, 2 words were stamped. Target identified. Lily's knees weakened. Do-hyun caught her before she fell. His voice was soft, deep, the calm inside the storm. "They're after you, Lily." Her voice shook. "But why me?" Do-hyun looked down the dark stairwell, jaw tightening again as footsteps echoed faintly from below. He whispered, "Because someone made you bait." And then the stairwell lights flickered. Footsteps got louder, and a voice yelled from below. "Boss, she's here." Lily flinched. Do-hyun pulled her close. Too close. Close enough to feel the danger closing in from every direction. Then he whispered one sentence that made her whole body turn cold. "Stay with me, Lily, or you won't survive the night." The door below slammed open, and everything went dark. The light snapped out with a single sharp pop. Lily gasped and instinctively clutched Do-hyun's jacket. The stairwell became a black maze, cold, breathless, silent except for the faint echo of footsteps coming fast from below. Do-hyun's hand found hers immediately. His grip was steady, unshakable, warm in a way that shouldn't have been possible for someone so cold. "Don't move," he whispered. His voice sounded different in the dark. Lower, deadlier, Like the real version of him only existed when the world couldn't see. The footsteps multiplied. 3, maybe 4 sets, moving up the stairs with purpose. These weren't drunk hotel guests. These were predators. Lily tried to slow her breathing, but it was impossible. "Do-hyun," she whispered, voice trembling. He squeezed her hand. "I'm here." Her throat tightened. Another set of footsteps joined. Closer, louder. The stairwell was filling with danger, like rising water. Do-hyun leaned in, lips near her ear, speaking so quietly she felt the words more than heard them. "When I tell you to run, you don't hesitate." Her heart dropped. "Run where?" "There's a service door 2 floors down," he whispered. "I'll clear a path. I'm not leaving you." Lily. She had never heard him say her name like that, soft but laced with command, with something almost like fear. Not for himself. For her. She wanted to ask 1,000 questions. Why she was a target, who was after her, why he knew so much. But the footsteps came to a sudden stop. Silence. The worst kind. A man's voice boomed through the darkness. "Do-hyun, you're making this too easy." Lily clutched Do-hyun's sleeve. The voice laughed. "You know how this works. Hand her over." Do-hyun didn't move. He didn't breathe. "You touch her," he said quietly, "and I'll take your hands." "Oh, protecting her now?" the man mocked. "Does she know who you really are, or what you did to her brother?" Lily froze. Her brother? Do-hyun stiffened. "Shut your mouth." The man laughed harder. "Oh, she doesn't know." A cold wave spread through Lily's chest. My brother?" she whispered. "Do-hyun, what is he talking about?" He turned to her, and even in the dark, she could feel the heaviness in his silence. He wasn't denying it. Something inside her cracked. But she didn't have time to ask again. A metal object scraped against the railing below. A gun. A knife. She couldn't tell, but it was meant for her. Do-hyun's hand dropped from hers. And suddenly, he pushed her. Not harshly, not violently, but firmly, purposefully. Her back hit the wall, and before she could react, Do-hyun stepped in front of her, not just as a shield, but as a human wall. "Stay against that wall," he whispered. "Don't make a sound." Do-hyun, please. The word hit her harder than anything else. He never said please. Before she could breathe, he moved. The stairwell erupted with motion. Shadows colliding, fists connecting, bodies slamming into metal railings. Lily couldn't see anything, but she heard everything. A grunt, a choke, a body falling, a punch so hard it echoed, a gasp of breath torn from someone's lungs, a knife skidding across concrete. "Where is she?" another voice yelled. Something crashed into the wall right beside Lily's head. She flinched violently, covering her mouth to keep from screaming. More fighting, more raw, vicious hits thrown with precision that no normal man should possess. Do-hyun wasn't fighting to win. He was fighting to protect. A man screamed. Then there was a heavy thud as someone collapsed. Silence followed. A long, tense silence. Lily didn't move. Her chest hurt from holding in her breathing. Then a warm hand touched her shoulder. She jumped. "It's me," Do-hyun whispered. She exhaled shakily, relief washing over her so fast her knees nearly gave out. He slipped his fingers around hers again. "We don't have much time. More will come." "What do they mean about my brother?" she whispered. "What do you know?" A shout came from downstairs. "Boss!" "He's still here." Do-hyun pulled Lily close. So close her forehead brushed his collarbone. "Run," he said. "Now." He grabbed her hand and sprinted down the stairs, navigating the darkness like he had lived in it his whole life. Lily stumbled but kept up, trusting the pull of his hand more than her own senses. They reached the second floor. "There," he whispered, pointing to a narrow service door in the corner. Lily reached for the handle, but it burst open before she touched it. A man stepped out, holding a metal pipe. Lily froze. Do-hyun pushed her behind him with one arm. The man smirked. "She's worth a lot, you know. Enough to start a war." Lily's stomach twisted. "Why me?" The man raised the pipe. Do-hyun stepped forward. And then, a gunshot cracked through the hallway. Lily screamed. Do-hyun grabbed her waist and shoved her behind a cleaning cart as a second shot hit the wall, sending dust and plaster raining over them. "Stay down," he growled. "Do-hyun, are you hit?" He didn't answer. He didn't even breathe for 2 seconds. Then the pipe-wielding man stepped closer, gun raised, smile widening as he aimed straight at Lily. Do-hyun looked at her, and something in his eyes shifted, something desperate, something pained, something like a promise breaking. "Forgive me," he whispered. He lunged forward, grabbed the shooter's wrist, and slammed him into the wall. The gun fired again, sparking against the ceiling. Do-hyun twisted, threw an elbow, and the man went crashing to floor. Do-hyun turned to Lily. "Go!" But she was staring at him in horror. Blood was spreading through his sleeve. Her voice broke. "You are hit." He looked down at the wound like it didn't matter. "It's nothing. Move." But Lily didn't move. Footsteps echoed again, more men rushing toward a hallway from both sides. Do-hyun gritted his teeth and grabbed her face gently, forcing her to look at him. "Lily, if they take you, you won't survive." Her eyes burned. "Then come with me." "I can't." "Why?" He hesitated. For the first time, Do-hyun hesitated. "Because they want me more than they want you." She felt her heart drop. And then the men, rounding the corner, shouted. "There, the girl." Do-hyun pulled Lily into his chest like she was the only thing in the world he needed to shield. "Run," he whispered one last time. "Please." But before she could move, a cold voice echoed from the far end of the hallway. A voice that didn't belong to an enemy. A voice Lily had heard earlier tonight. Her hotel manager. Except this time, he wasn't alone. And he wasn't pretending. He stepped into the hallway wearing a knowing smile, and behind him were 4 heavily armed men in black suits. Well, the manager said, eyes locked on Lily. "Looks like you're finally where we want you." Do-hyun's grip tightened around her. Too tight. Too final. Lily's stomach fell as the manager lifted his hand. "Take her."